Hey, American Airlines, why are you stranding my 15-year-old son along with 9 other teenage boys in the airport with no hotel, no food? You canceled their flight and can't rebook them until over 24 hours later.
Worst flying experience ever. Do not fly with American Airlines. Like, I legit cannot make this up.
So tell me how American Airlines can cancel your flight and then not rebook you on something, put you on standby and have you wait at an airport for 24 hours and tell you that the next flight that you can get is in 6 days.
Yeah. So American Airlines is really catching a lot of heat from frustrated customers right now. And honestly, it's starting to get concerning because there are just so many stories going around about all these delays and one headache after another, to the point where a lot of people are choosing to steer clear of flying altogether these days. I don't want to drag this intro out too long because we've got a lot to get through today, not to mention all your comments on the last few videos. So if you'd like to show up in an upcoming video, drop a comment below. All right, take a look at this.
So tell me how American Airlines can cancel your flight and then not rebook you on something, put you on standby and have you wait at an airport for 24 hours and tell you that the next flight that you can get is in 6 days and not pay for a hotel, not pay for the $100 Ubers. Babe, stop. I just don't understand this. Can someone explain to me how airlines can strand you like this, not pay for anything, and expect you to just go about your life? We are stuck in LaGuardia Airport. We have been here since 7 a.m. They didn't pay for our hotel room. They didn't pay for our food. They didn't pay for our Ubers. They didn't pay for anything. We sat here, waited. Nothing. Closed the gates. Didn't even say anything to anybody. Didn't say, oh, you can get on. Oh, sorry, there were no seats. This is insane. There are so many people sitting around laying at the airport. They just strand people.
Huge shout out to American Airlines. My father passed away a year and 7 months ago, and my mom had called the airlines and asked them to transfer his miles because she was entitled to get his miles. And they said, oh, it'll take 6 months. And she thought, 6 months? I'm going to be dead by then. And they said, well, I'm sorry, that's the policy. So I had made a video and it totally went viral. And I just want to follow up and tell everyone that she did receive all 150,000 miles to her account. So thank you, American Airlines, for doing this for my mom and doing the right thing.
Hey, American Airlines, why are you stranding my 15-year-old son along with 9 other teenage boys in the airport with no hotel, no food? You canceled their flight and can't rebook them until over 24 hours later to an airport nowhere near where they're supposed to fly into. It's over 2 hours from the airport they're supposed to fly into. Oh, and that flight is scheduled to arrive at 12:15 in the morning. The fact that you're not providing hotel vouchers for this group of teenage boys is shocking to me. I truly would have thought that you would have offered better service. But instead, you're leaving all of us parents to scramble from far away, trying to figure out what to do with our teenage boys who are in another state without any money for
This video is for American Airlines and American Airlines only. I got a bone to pick with you right now. Today I had a flight. That flight was from Dallas to New York. We get on the plane, we take off, we're flying. We were 30 minutes out from landing, and then they gave us an announcement that they are running out of fuel. And because of that, they're gonna have to land in Philadelphia. So we land in Philadelphia and they said, okay, we're gonna have to go to one of the little holding spots to get fuel. So we land, we go over to the little holding space and we're waiting for fuel. It took 45 minutes for the fuel to get started. No announcements whatsoever. Then there was an announcement that the fuel was started and we're good to go. So we start pushing back. As we start pushing back, they make an announcement that there's a chance that the pilots and the crew might time out and their day might have to end, which would keep us from being able to fly. But they said that as long as they take off within the next hour, we'll be good. So they told everybody on the plane, they're like, we're pretty confident that we can get off of the ground before our time's up. We're all good. So we push off, we go over to the tarmac where we take off, and we're waiting. And we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting. And then, not an hour later, 30 minutes later, they come on the intercom and they say, hey, we're timed out, we gotta go back to the gate. That obviously sucks. At this point, I'm just looking at train tickets because the train is an hour from Philadelphia to New York. But this is where it gets ridiculous. We get back to the gate because now I'm getting off the plane. They said, no, don't worry. We have a new pilot flying in from Chicago and he just got here. He'll be here in 45 minutes. So we're sitting there waiting for the pilot and everyone's getting a little bit restless, including myself, in fairness. So we're thinking to ourselves, we're like, can we just get off of the plane? Like, I'll just take a train, it's fine. I'm an hour away. They're like, no, you cannot get off the plane. I said, okay, I can't get off the plane, I'm just gonna sit here. So then I sit down and they come on the intercom again and they're like, hey, so if anybody wants to get off the plane, that's fine, but your bags are gonna fly with this flight. Meaning you will not get your bags for a couple of days, maybe a little over a week, because you'll have to mail them to yourself or go get them at the airport in New York. So a lot of the people didn't check in bags. I did. So all the people who just have carry-ons get up and they start getting ready to get off the plane because they just told us that that's allowed. They get on the intercom again. They go, just so that you know, we have an agent who's going to have to write down every single person's name who is choosing to get off of the plane. And then we'll let the captain on, and then we'll push back. Half the plane was getting ready to leave. So they're writing down names one by one. This takes 30, 40 minutes. So everyone's getting off. I sat back down because I don't want to have to go back to the airport to get my check back.
Please do not leave the boarding area. The new flight attendants have been assigned. We just don't know where they are, so they should be here shortly.
Did you hear that? We haven't even gotten to this part of the story yet. So then, after 30 minutes of them writing down random people's names, they get back on the intercom. They're like, actually, we're deboarding everybody, so everyone needs to get up and get off. So we deboard, we get to the gate where we're gonna eventually have to get back onto the plane, and they tell us that if you have checked bags on the plane, you have to wait here until we find a new pilot and a new crew. And you can't go anywhere unless you want to have to go mail your luggage to yourself. And now they just told us right now that the new flight attendants were assigned, but they don't know where they are. So American Airlines, get in the comments, figure it out, help me out.
Once the flight attendants get here, sign will tell us it's okay, we will start reboarding. So please pull your boarding passes back up if you need to.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
Hey guys, it's midnight right now. So we've been stuck on the runway for about an hour and the flight just got delayed for 2 more hours. So my arrival time in Chattanooga will be at 4 a.m. And then I have to go to Knoxville to go to church claim. So, yeah. Also, I have church tomorrow.
Worst flying experience ever. Do not fly with American Airlines. Like, I legit cannot make this up. Our flight was delayed for 3 hours because apparently there was no pilot, and then they made us board the plane and sit there for another hour and then made us deplane. So now we're just like all out here waiting and we don't even know if we can make it back to Toronto or not. Like, this is absolutely insane. It's like almost 5 hours of waiting. We're supposed to land by now. Like, it's absolutely fucking insane.
Since no one at American Airlines gives a shit, I'm gonna talk about this because it just happened to me. So I was in St. Thomas and we were supposed to have a direct flight from St. Thomas to Chicago. We get on the plane, we wait an hour to leave, and they tell us we're going to Miami, which this was a nonstop flight to Chicago. And then I had a connecting flight from Chicago to LA. So we get on the plane, we wait an hour, we start flying, and they said, okay, they told us we're going to Miami, they told you guys you were going to Chicago. There were no updates in the app, no emails. This was a nonstop flight. So we're all trying to figure out our connecting flights because we're going to miss them because we were on the tarmac for an hour plus. They said you can rebook your flights through American Airlines, but you couldn't because they didn't update the information that we were landing in Miami. So they told us they would let us know mid-flight if they were like, okay, we're going to talk to Miami. We're going to try to rebook all of your guys' flights. They did none of that when we landed in Miami. We had to wait on the plane, and they told us we couldn't get off. Only people that were going to Louisville, Kentucky for some reason could get off. But there's like 20 people that want to get off and 5 people that are going to Louisville. So we all get off anyways, and they make us wait at the gate until a manager comes. When they told us on the plane that everyone They were going to try to reroute everyone's flights because we were delayed and we weren't supposed to be going to Miami. That's crazy, right? Like, imagine you had a nonstop flight somewhere and then they just like made a stop somewhere else. That's not what you paid for. And no updates at all until you got on the plane and had no choice but to take the flight. So they won't let us out of the gate until a manager comes, which this was supposed to be figured out while we were on the plane, right? No. They told us we were all going to have to get back on the plane and take the flight to Chicago, and we said no. Like, some people already rebooked their flights with their own money so they could get home tonight from Miami. Mind you, for some reason, they didn't even scan our boarding passes from our flight to St. Thomas here. They just asked what seat you were in. They didn't even check my ID. They didn't scan my boarding pass. How did they even know I was on the flight? And they wouldn't let me out. Anyway, a manager comes, says that we have to give them our seat number and then we can leave. Again, didn't ask my name, didn't ask anything, just said seat number and then let me go to the rebooking area where I rebooked a flight. But the guy at the desk was like flirting with me. He was like, "You have really pretty eyes. Where do you live? Do you have a boyfriend?" I said, "Yes, I do have a boyfriend. Would you date anyone else while you were with your boyfriend? What's your Instagram?" Follows me on Instagram. And then because he's rebooking my flight, what if I don't give him my Instagram? Is he gonna not let like book me a new flight? And then when I finally get my ticket, he asks if he can get my number, and I said no. Since we were all gonna also miss our connections in Chicago, they rebooked us for morning flights and said that we could not get hotels. So screw you, American Airlines. Thank you.
Okay, so I think everybody's got an opinion on this one. But keep in mind, it's not like this is happening across the board. I know plenty of people who've flown over the last 6 months, and some of them had a totally smooth experience. They got where they were going, no drama. And then there are the others who end up spending the night at the airport, sitting through these endless delays, boarding the plane only to get pulled right back off, and then suddenly there's no pilot to be found. There's just all kinds of stuff that keeps happening. And the takeaway for me is that I really don't think the airlines are what they used to be. They just don't seem to have the same reliability anymore, and it's been going on for a while now. It's a real pattern. Let me know what you think, and tell me about your own experiences down in the comments. Let me know if you've dealt with delays like this recently. Thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves.